Hey everybody, welcome back to Racing Reviews and Previews with me, Mark Fanning. First of all, let's recap on what was a fantastic day's racing. It was day one of the 2022 Leopardstown Dublin Racing Festival. We got the ball rolling with the Grade 1 Novice Hurdle over 2 miles 6. Our selection, Manila Crooner, was second. He was beat by Manila Concooner or Cocooner. It's a bit of a tingle twister that. Willie Mullins kicked off with Danny Mullins in the saddle, 11-1 shot. I just felt maybe if Jack Hendy had another go, um, no fault of his own, she missed the last or the second last. We could have been a bit closer. The winner found plenty. Um, Again, look, I'd like not to miss that last or second last, but we can't do anything about that. So our first selection finished second, but we made up first. In the next race, the second, it was a juvenile. The spring juvenile, it was the grade 1 over 2 miles, and Vabon. We were super sweet in this horse, and he beat Fildor, Gordon Elliott's hot favourite by 3 lengths. Paul Townham was very good in this horse today, got him to jump super. And that form was really frank. Even though he finished second, they were disappointed. He got beat that day. He was back that day. Like, defeat was out of the question. But as I said, there were I think it was 18 and clear the third. And the Gordon Elliott runner that bet him that day went on and won a grade 2 in Cheltenham. This horse could be anything. I'm really looking forward to seeing this guy in March, hopefully. Then that brings us to it was the Arkle, the novice chase, grade 1 over a mile 1, and our selection again, Blue Lord, Julia Obliged here, 5-2. It was a super price. Heart in her mouth there, coming to the line. Rivert Detel, Gordon Elliott's mare. What a classy mare she is. She deserves one. She missed the last, and that I think cost her the race. Now, Blue Lord did go clear a couple of lengths, and she started to come back to him since again. But look, Blue Lord was a very good winner on the day. A little bit unlucky the second horse, but we'll take that one. That brought us to the fourth race. It was the handicap. One of our selections, Authorized Art. Keep an eye on him for the next day. He was very well supported. We had him at 25s. He was backed all the way into 10s. I would take a chance with him the next day again, but it was Tony Martin coming back to the big time with Good Time Johnny. Kevin Sexton, what a good rider he is in the saddle. 17-2, beat Emmett Mullins' horse in second, who was a ton of money for. He's a shrewd man, that Emmett Mullins. And John Ryan's the little Yankee, a massive 80-1 back in third for local jockey Liam Quinlan. Then that brought us to the feature race on the day, and what a ride this is. This man was out of action for 12 months, and a lot of people had given up on him age and whatnot, but this just goes to show you cannot put a young head on old shoulders, or whatever way they say that, or an old head on young shoulders. But this was an absolute peach of a ride. Davy went to the front, Davy Russell, that is, on Conflated. He was only a handicap winner the last time, but he was supported. He was 50-1 in places overnight, into 18-1, and absolutely hosed up 6.5 lengths. Melena Indo with Puppy Power in the saddle, with the view to ride him in Cheltenham. He came back to form after his below power run in Kempton. He was second back, and Janadil was back in third. But Conflated, what a horse this was. Now, I still think Davy will stick with Galvin in Cheltenham, but he won the Irish Gold Cup today. Then there was the Grade B handicap steeplechase, and that went away. Joseph Ryan's A Wave of the Sea. Shane Fitzgerald again, showing how good he is. Valuable £5 off his back. And again, John Ryan's horse, Grange Walk, was back in second again under Liam Quinlan. And then that brought us to the bumper, and we were super sweet in this horse. Quavega's son, Fakile Vega. He is an absolute superstar, this horse. 12-length winner, 8-11. But forget about the price. This was just an absolutely breathtaking performance. He is an absolute aeroplane. Paddy Mullins, just once he hit that button, he was gone. And that was day one of the opening day of the festival of the 2022 Dublin Racing Festival. But we're moving on to tomorrow's action. It is day two, and all eyes are going to be on Honeysuckle in the champion hurdle, bidding to go 3 consecutive champion hurdles. But before all that, the feature race, which is off at 3 o'clock, we're going to get underway at the very first race, the 12:45. It's a Mayor's Handicap hurdle. It's a Grade B hurdle. It's over 2 miles, 1 furlongs. We've got 15 runners lined up here, and I have one at a little bit of a price. Starting to get niggled there now. She was 14-1 when I wrote up this. I think she could be into 12s and even 10s in places. Joseph O'Brien, JJ Slevin are combining here. Luna Display. She won a bumper here on debut. That was over 2 miles. And then she bolted up in a maiden hurdle in May, and since that she has been in the top 7 in 7 out of her 9 starts since that maiden hurdle, and she was 4th and 5th in her other two. She won a mare's listed hurdle. Oh no, she won a mare's hurdle in Wexford, where the second went on to bolt up, and then was second in the Grade 3 to Hollow Games. She didn't won a mare's listed and was last seen finishing third in a mare's Grade 3 behind Willie's two, Allegra Devassi and Brandy Love. And she was 7 and clear of 4th. She's come back into handicap company. Look, weight is the only factor here. She's got 11-9 in her back. The favourite has got 10-12. Davy Russell, Party Central. She's very short at 94 at 14-1. Boyle Sports are going an extra place in this race. So for me, Lunar Display each way in the first. That brings us to the second race, the first of the Grade 1s. It's the Novice Chase over 2 miles, 5 furlongs, and our little favourite here, Galloping the Champs. You may remember my Cheltenham preview last year. I tipped this horse up in the Martin Pipe at 14-1. I think he went off 10s or 8s on the day, but he's a little dude. He went to Punchestown in and hacked up in a Grade 1 over hurdles. But what he done over fences on his first start at Christmas was absolutely sensational. The way he can just jump, and he's so quick. He is an absolute superstar of a horse, Galloping the Champ. He's going to take all the beating here. One that I can see that might run him home is Capadano, again for Willie Mullins and Mark Walsh in the famous JP colours of McManus. He could give him a race of it, but this race is a lot deeper than what Galloping the Champs made his debut in, but it's a Grade 1. Of course, Paddy Corkery, Master Max Shee, he's second or third favourite in the betting. What an absolute story that was over Christmas down in Limerick, winning the Grade 1. But for me, Galloping the Champs, they'll all be chasing his tail here. That brings us to the Dublin Chase, won for the last 2 years by Chacun Pour Soi. Look, this horse is an absolute superstar at home, but when he goes across channel, he missed the Cheltenham Festival 2 years ago. He went there last year. He was below par in the Champion Chase, and he went to the Tingle Creek this year in Kempton, and he was below par. But this is his race. This is his track. Paul Townend is back in the saddle. Look, if he bounces anywhere near back to form, he's 5 runners lining up here, 4 to oppose. I don't think they're going to get in with anywhere near him, but he has to come back to form. That is the only worry. But for me, Chacun Pour Soi, Cashback is a very interesting runner coming back over fences after winning a hurdle. He beat that horse of Willie's other horse in Clonmel, who went on to win since Cashback. But this horse has been a bit below par over fences. He's fell an awful lot of times, but he was a very useful horse over hurdles. Maybe winning over hurdles the last time might bring back his confidence. If he can put in around the jumping, Danny Munn's right now with skin, he might be the one to pick up the pieces if Chacun isn't back. But for me, Chacun Pour Soi gets my vote here. And that brings us to one of the hardest races on the card. It's the 2 mile 5. It's the Handicap Chase. It's Grade A. Again, Boyle Sports are going extra places in this. They're paying 5 places. I have 2 in this I like. One is Animix for Willie Mullins, Jack Foley in the saddle. She was third in the Kerry National, and then was second to in a Grade 3 hurdle to Galvin. That was only 3 runs ago. She fell since a little bit below par, but if she comes back to that form, Jack Foley, very good young rider, taking a very valuable £5 off her back. She's up high in the weights, so apologies. So Animix at 28-1 gets me in the mix here each way. Another one I'm going to go with each way because he's drifting out to a price each way is the Shunter for Emmett Mullins. This horse was a very shrewd horse last year, along with the trainer. He landed that bonus going to Kempton and then going on to Cheltenham in the space of less than 2 weeks. And he was since bought by JP McManus, who doesn't buy him for the fun of it. He was second in a Grade 1 novice in Aintree. And and then he was third in a big handicap in Punchestown and fourth in the Galway Hurdle, where he's very well supported. So coming back here, Brian Hayes, who is stable jockey for Emmett Mullins, he's going to be another one each way for me. That brings us to the Champion Hurdle. It's the feature race of day 2, and one of the, if not, look, all eyes are going to be on Honeysuckle here. She's only got 5 runners up here. Appreciate doesn't run. And for me, all she needs to do is stand up to win here. She's absolutely super. Henry's horses aren't firing. That's the only concern. But then again, they weren't firing when she bolted up at Christmas. Rachel Blackmore in the saddle. These two are just like poetry in motion. They know each other so well. They've done it. Look, we can talk about what they're doing for each other's careers. But Honeysuckle for me, one that might run her home for the forecast is Anna here. Gordon Elliott's. He was promising in his first runs. He was second to Sharjah at Christmas. A very good line form, that. So for me, Honeysuckle. And I hope, heaven help us, for Paul Hennessy runs a good race. A Cheltenham winner, Danny Mullins in the saddle. What emotion scenes were after Cheltenham when this mare won. So she's won around the course here before. So yeah, I'd love for her to run into a place there in the top 3. But for me, Honeysuckle, look, she's absolutely exceptional. She's the best around at the minute, so we just need to admire her here. Honeysuckle for me. And that brings us to the last of the grade 1s on the card for day 2 of the Dublin Racing Festival, and that is the Novice Hurdle over 2 miles. We've got 9 runners on up here. Last year's champion bumper winner, Sir Gerhard, takes his chance here. He won on his debut over hurdles, absolutely hosed up and blitzed up. Paul Townend in the saddle. He is going to take all the beating here. I'm going to go for one each way in the race, just because I don't want to go through the card picking favourites. But El Fablio, I was very breathtaking by this horse's debut. I know it was a Tremor. Willie Mullins again trains. He's a French recruit in the famous colours of Isaac Suede and Simon Manure. Sean O'Keefe, very, very good young rider in the saddle here. So for me, each way, Bile Sports again with that money back offer, because Sir Gerhard will take all the beating here. But El Fabio could give him a race of it here. He could be anything, this horse, especially coming out of France by Spanish Moon, who produces a nice few talented horses over obstacles even. So yeah, I'm going to go for El Fablio each way here in the last grade 1 of the Dublin Racing Festival. Finish the card then. We've got 2 more races. There's a handicap, Grade B handicap hurdle over 2 miles. Again, I'm going to go for 2 here. One that I might have a look at tomorrow if I see a little bit of a niggle for him. 33-1. Martin Brazel, Darrow O'Keefe. They combined to win the Tayestes, fast or slow. He was a French recruit. He was second on debut to horse Jessica Harrington, who went on since to win straight away after that, and was very well fancied for a big handicap at Leopardstown at Christmas, but was a bit below par. But puts it all together, very lightly raced, a very young horse. Horse is stable and firm, very stable and in form, very shrewd operator, very good jockey. So for me, a 33-1. The other one I'm going to go for each way is Magic Tricks, again lightly raced. He was fancied for the Galway Hurdle. This horse actually we had fancied for to run well in a big handicap in Cheltenham and was a late non-runner. Shane Fitzgerald, again, we've seen how very good he is, taking that valuable £5 off his back. So Magic Tricks at 14-1 and Fast or Slow at 33s each way. In the second last, it's a super, super competitive race. 28 runners line up there. So, but now we're going to go to an equally tougher race to finish the card. It's the Coolmore National Hunt Sire Santiago Irish EBF Mares National Hunt Flat Race. That's a bit of a mouthful. It's a grade 2. It's over 2 miles. We've got 16 runners lined up here. Again, Bile Sports are paying an extra place in this race. Got some super, super talented mares coming in here, all winners of bumpers and whatnot. Willie Mullins, of course, has 6 in the race. Pink in the Park is the favourite. Even money with Paddy in the Salon. She was very, very good in Listoa when she won. I was watching that replay again. The way she just put it to bed so easily. So for me, she gets to vote here. Paddy Mullins, he's very good to pick on me. Very rarely picks it wrong. Pink at the Park for me, but want to run well at each way at a price because of the Bile Sports extra place is from Willie Mullins again. This time with Declan Lavery in the saddle. This guy is a very super rider. I think he was an amateur. He was professional amateur for a while, and then went back to being. So he is a professional amateur. He was a conditional, for a while, and then went back to be an amateur. But he's a very good rider. Nikini, Paddy Mullins won on this in Ballinrobe, I think it was. I was very taken by this mare's performance that evening. And I think at 16-1, with an extra place in the race, she's going to be my each way selection in the race. Pink at the Park for the win, and the Keeney for the each way. Hopefully, again, we bang in a couple of more winners. We had a very good couple of races, a bit of a quiet 2 or 3 races in the middle. Kenboy was ultimately disappointing. I don't know where he's going to go from here. But we finished the card in with that very good bumper winner. Look, again, guys, I really appreciate the support. Hit the like, hit the share button. I shall talk to you again very, very soon. Cheers, guys.